Shazam! What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Loud Bostonian. We just got out of our viewing of Aquaman, and it was fantastic, no matter what anybody else says. No.
Do you mean fantastic?
I'm fantastic. I'm joined by the all-star cast from the Venom review, my buddy Eric Nelson, buddy Dave Hampton. You saw him on the Creed review, too. He fucked up the intro and the outro.
Best intro you ever had.
Promised not to do it this time.
Best intro you ever had. Best intro you ever had.
All right, so Aquaman. Aquaman was a long movie, very long, and obviously anybody who's ever seen a review I've done with Dave hates DC with his every inch of his soul.
I don't hate DC, so, they just make bad movies.
As a result of that, he was going into this like, Aquaman, not today. Not today, sir. The whole audience loved it. There were cheers, laughs to be had.
Are you really going to make shit up now?
Nobody
cheered.
Eric, you were there.
Who cheered?
I can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't.
Speechless.
Who cheered?
I can't remember if there was or not. Now I don't know.
There we go.
You know how the movie ended? Is there post-credit scenes? I don't think there's post-credit scenes. Good, we can leave.
That's not how it ended. There was a post-credit scene, and I said I think I know what it was. So let's just go.
There was actually people still staying there when we left.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I don't know. Shit.
Plot of the movie. This movie picks up right after Justice League, obviously.
Aquaman has to take
but then
his
they ignore the facts. They ignore the facts that Justice League took place, which was a smart move, pretty much. Other than the world knows that Aquaman exists now, which was never established in Justice League. So that's a bit of.
She talked about fighting Steppenwolf.
She did. She did. But she was in Justice League.
They didn't like it.
No, they didn't ignore Justice League happened. There's references to metahumans. There's no direct tie-in outside of the fact that
I'm saying is a good thing.
He's now being heroic because remember when Justice League starts, he's like I'd rather just be a drunk.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no direct nods to it. There's a lot of indirect nods to it,
which is smart. Well, that's my point, though. I'm saying it's like it's. Obviously, the events took place because there are little things that nod to it, but like it's a good a jump-off point for this movie to be like, let's just pretend it didn't happen. You know, it was a controversial movie. Let's get our own footing and try to tell an origin story of sorts because obviously you know the character, but like you get his backstory a little bit. So obviously the movie starts off with Nicole Kidman playing his mother. Is it Atlanta?
I think she says Atlanta. Didn't you say like Atlanta?
Like Atlanta, Georgia.
That's what I thought. I could be wrong.
I honestly. Yeah, I think so. I didn't even connect the whole Atlanta, Georgia thing, but yeah.
Atlanta. I think they're calling her Atlanta.
Atlanta, but
as
Mylanta.
So the movie obviously picks up with her being beached in Maine, Dave's neck of the woods, where he grew up. So
it's about the only thing the movie did right.
Yeah, and then obviously she gets picked up by Arthur Curry's father, who is Jango Fett from the Clone Wars.
The name wasn't Curry. Did you notice that?
Who?
The last name wasn't Curry. They used another last name. It was like Arthur Goo or something like that. It wasn't
Arthur Goo.
It wasn't Arthur Goo. It was not Curry.
Dude, it was definitely Arthur Curry.
No.
No way they went Arthur Goo.
Yeah, they were like Arthur Goo. Yeah.
They went along. I mean, granted, they were just calling him Arthur or.
They never say Arthur Curry the whole movie.
But I'm almost positive his name's Arthur Curry.
I never heard
it. Why would they change that one?
I never heard him say Goo either.
Goo.
I don't know. It was better than whatever they said. It was like milk. I think it was Arthur Milk or something. It was something ridiculous.
This is a smear campaign against Aquaman. There is no Goo. This is fake news. There is no Arthur Goo. There is no Arthur Milk.
I actually hope it is Arthur Goo because that's amazing.
Arthur Goo.
It was Aqua Goo. I mean.
Oh my god. Aside from that, what did you guys think of like Nicole Kidman's performance in the beginning of the movie?
I think she actually has some of the better fight sequences. Both her and Mira. I kind of was underwhelmed by Jason Momoa's fight sequences for the most part.
They really don't give him. It's funny. I thought the thing when he took the ship was cool fight wise for him, but like a lot of the other big fights were like.
It was kind of.
It wasn't as fast paced as the other. Like the other fights were really like fast paced, which I thought was really cool. The Mara fight scenes and the Atlanta.
It's kind of like his fight scenes are kind of like Luke Cage, right? Where like
using the muscle versus actually having the skill to fight.
Exactly.
I get that.
And so it was more like he'd walk in and he'd be like, "Boom, one punch, you're out. Ha, I'm Aqua Bro. See you later."
I really enjoyed the camera angles that they were using in that first fight scene with Atlanta. Like it goes over her shoulder for a lot of them, and then like under when he's pushing the guy up. James Wan, the director of this movie, he did like so. The Fast and the Furious movies are obviously pretty terrible. but the last like half of them have been really good. And he did the one that like got like the most praise for like all like the big fight, the big like spectacle, and like I think it was 7. He did 7, the one where Paul Walker died in real life.
I honestly don't know.
But like I think he did a great job with the choreographies of the fights and all that. It was freaking. I really enjoyed his camera work and like his vision of this movie.
I liked. I mean, like I said, there's a Mira fight scene and then the Svetlana fight scene.
Who?
I just making up new names for.
Svetlana Goo?
Yeah, exactly. No, what was it? Atlanta's fight scene in the beginning. I mean, my number one complaint about this movie is so much of it could have been left on the cutting room floor to tell the narrative that they were trying to tell, but I felt like he kept it in so they could, make this bastardized hybrid of the Goonies meets Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings meets freaking what else? It was like literally every movie I saw the last 20 years of my life got jammed into this one movie because he's like, I don't know what an original idea is. So
well, it's not original idea as much as it is like you have an Aquaman movie. The character already starts off like with a hit against him because nobody knows.
He's gonna put like you might as well just be fucking SpongeBob. You're gonna put him down like the bottom of a sea. Like he's like, well, like you have to make it interesting some way. Like you can't just be like, all right, yeah, it's like, we got a few fucking sea creatures fucking floating around. And we're gonna sit on our fucking tubes at the bottom of the fucking ocean. Like it's gotta be so, like I don't know. There's gotta be something to it. I don't.
The whole I think it would have been nice. There was parts of it that I didn't mind at all. Like there was a lot of things that worked. I just feel like it was just too schizophrenic. Like if it picked like a couple of themes, like if it was like an Indiana Jones like romp, like treasure hunt type movie, and then it stuck to that with the whole general plot. But it kind of bounced around, and then it tied in like some weird '80s reference themes. Yeah. And like I said, I said to you before we recorded this, I thought it was like it sounded like Thor Ragnarok for a couple of sequences where they're using like that '80s laser thing, and you guys just kept pressing the keyboard.
It's like a Tron.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's that's the sound of it. If you think if you're exploring, because basically Atlantis or the underworld worlds in general, it looks like outer space, which is like if you think of all the nods, all the things that people say, where it's like it's the only place that's never been explored. It's like outer space. It kind of makes sense, and with the visuals and the lights and everything that they had in there, I love that sound with it. I don't know what you would have done that would have made it different.
I mean, there was no.
I mean, they played like the Beach Boys like over it. It would have.
Yeah, you know what it was? You kind of give it because it has like that. What the hell is that? Avatar type look to it, with like the coloring and like. So it's like, what are you gonna? You can't do. You do like rock type music. You gotta kind of give it like a.
You gotta give it its own score.
It's like that. Like
I'm fine with the original score concept.
Almost like an EDM type of. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah.
But what was with the hip hop version of Toto's Africa on the airplane?
So,
I mean, like he literally, it was all over the place. It wasn't like there was one consistent theme.
So that wasn't. But that's a music choice versus a score choice. I thought the score was fantastic during the fight scenes, everything.
It was only that Thor laser beam noise that was like only because I just saw a movie recently use that, and I'm so busy having my senses overwhelmed with all the other movies this felt like that I was like, let's take it back a notch of like stealing from other people.
Wouldn't see the Toto thing got me. So
that was a horrible cover.
Especially Pitbull doing.
Is that who did that?
I could tell that's who it was. But just from this voice.
Yeah.
So but Weezer has, not that you would want to go Weezer either, but like Weezer has a cover of that on the radio that is like requested daily. So it seems weird that they would go with the Pitbull version instead of the Weezer.
That
version.
one hurts
or
me
the
though
original.
Too. Yeah, I mean the original's the only good one. So like. The Weezer one's not bad. It's just it's not that much.
I guess
it's not that different from the original, and the original one's better.
I would say they weren't in Africa, but they were.
Yeah,
but like not like real. So that's one of the problems that I had with this movie, and I only had a few to pick from because I just had a blast with it the whole time through.
I think the Manta part was stupid. He was terrible.
Black Manta.
Yeah.
Like he looked just like Kevin Hart when he took his helmet off. Was that Kevin Hart?
Like not when he was in like
way taller.
way taller.
Not when he was in like his outfit. Like armor, that was.
He just didn't like his storyline.
I thought he was stupid. I thought his line was like, "Oh, we need a bigger helmet." Like that was supposed to be like funny. Like
that's a great example of a scene that could have been left on the cutting room floor, where he disassembles the Atlantean armor and then builds into a Black Manta suit. That was like 3 minutes of the movie that had no business being in it. They could have just had him open up like their battle suit like in the box.
It could have just been that suit.
Exactly.
It could have just been. I agree.
Great
with that.
point, Nelson.
I agree with that. That was a scene I didn't like. The only other, there's a few other things in this movie that didn't work for me. So let's just go through things that didn't work for everybody, because Dave's gonna have a lot, and then we'll like truck through the ones that did. But I thought this movie, because obviously it's very much like you said, a Goonies or Indiana Jones movie, where it's like where they go place to place to get whatever, like little bits of information. I feel like they could have cut out the location of that Sand Kingdom, right? That could have just been in Sicily, like a hidden tomb or something, and then you cut out that trip entirely, and it's one location. Because how the fuck did they get to Sicily after they jumped out of the plane and were in the middle of the desert?
I mean,
they fast forwarded for once. I mean,
no, but that's my point. Is like I think like the trench was cool, so like obviously you have to get to that scene, but like they're just. You had like 3 or 4 stops when you only need like 2 stops.
You know how I kept talking about stealing that trench scene? It was neat the way they did it. But did you watch that and not be like, bring that to Tremors? That is Tremors. The dude's not even trying anymore. When they're swimming down underneath the boat and you have like the swarm of everyone, it looks like the movie cover from Tremors.
Tremors with the graboids?
Yeah, that come up from the yeah. Like their boats are coming down. You have like the tunnel, like the little him holding the flare, swimming down. And there's like the bubble of people around them, and it looked like something like the Tremors movie.
I don't know about Tremors. I didn't get Tremors from that at all. I actually really like that.
It looked cool.
So James Wan's a horror director. He does the Conjuring films. That's like what he first came up with. So I was like, as soon as I knew that they were doing like the trench thing, and you saw the first image of those things, I was like, those things are freaking scary looking. They kind of look like a fish version of Xenomorph from Aliens.
I just don't get, like, if he knew he had, like, the ability to, like, talk to fish living, water-dwelling creatures.
Why he didn't talk to
like, why not be like, fish people, don't come near me.
When he
talk to you.
So ultimately, this movie is a quest for the MacGuffin, which is the trident.
The MacGuffin.
Yeah, well, that's a good term. I'll explain what that is to you later.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
It's
random movie object that solves all the problems.
Yes. Yep. Or the object of get this thing. You know. Yeah. So like, but anyways, it doesn't matter.
It's like the pick.
I think when he finally exactly. Yep. So when he got the trident, you saw him connecting. Like, it did that, and I thought that was actually kind of lame when it showed him all the different creatures he could now connect with that he couldn't before. It shows the trench people as one of them.
Yeah, I
didn't like. I mean, I'm with Nelson though. I didn't like that because it's like it's an inherent superpower, but it's not at the same time. Yeah, like they were like I said,
uncontrolled or whatever. Yeah, he should have been able to talk to everything or like specific things.
Like the great white at Boston Aquarium.
Yeah,
Aquarium.
So when they're at the Boston Aquarium,
which wasn't the Boston Aquarium.
I know, but I was like, Nelly,
by the way,
remember that great white they have at the Boston Aquarium swimming around with the other fish?
I know. Well, I'm just sitting there going, I've been to the Boston Aquarium a lot of times, and that looks like the generic one they use in L.A. for every aquarium sequence ever.
Yeah, well, see, little things like that in movies never really bug me, but when I saw the great white sharks, I'm like, give me a break. Like, do you think, obviously I don't know sharks just from looking at them, but it was a large shark. You don't have large sharks in aquarium pools.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have anything in with it. I don't know.
The Boston Aquarium has like a little.
They'll have sharks
or something.
I've seen aquariums with like actual sharks in them, and they just make sure they get lots of food. But
they're like little sharks.
Yeah, I don't think
they're not fucking like 12-foot. Whatever the hell.
They're like 6-footers. I've seen 6-footers in like
an open ocean literally a shark from Jaws smashing into the glass.
Right. No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying like that sequence. His entire childhood bugged me because it's all like because the only thing that mattered was like his mother and his father meeting. And then, honestly, even though I loved the fight scene with Atlanta, like that all could have been cut out of the movie as well. If the movie started with the Black Manta group invading that submarine, that movie you would have saved me another 10 to 20 minutes of the movie. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of things like that where like just storytelling narrative wasn't very coherent outside of the quest for the MacGuffin.
Right.
And so like that was the only coherent thing that was happening. And then they'd have these weird diversions where I just felt like if you had an editor give a stronger eye to the movie, it would have made it tighter and made it feel like a better movie. Yeah. And that's actually not me just trying to hate on DC to hate on DC.
That's I think a film critic.
That is me. That is me being an uninformed film critic.
I agree. I think the movie could have. I think you could have cut 30 minutes out of it
easily.
Pick and choose different areas. And again, if you'd cut the quest down to 2 stops and then back to the action, would have been fine. Because at the same time that this is all going on, you've Orm, or Ocean Master, whatever the hell his name is, kind of doing his thing, where he's like going kingdom to kingdom, trying to get these people together to attack the mainland, which you never even really understand why. Like, I feel like they should have...
No, there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough of a time.
Like pollution and like stuff like that. But
how did I was trying to figure out how him and the Manta were like communicating like
ahead of time? Yeah, well,
because obviously there was like a plan like that they had, like so they had met previously.
Yeah.
So it's like, where did they like talk?
But again, that's
he knew of Atlanta.
Considering everything else that was in this movie. You're surprised they didn't have their meat in the movie too, because they had so much in there. That's one of the things they obviously were like, let's just cut that.
Well, so no, I mean it's a good point though. It's interesting how what stayed in the movie. They explain it for like the whole like why do they hate the surface dwellers? They explain it for like 3 seconds where it's like they kill our children. They show like whalers from Nantucket, and then they like pollute our oceans, and then they poison us, and they show like toxic waste in the ocean. So it's just people just being people and treating the ocean like it's a toilet.
I wouldn't even mind the flashback is for Orm. I guess you could say that his reason for wanting to destroy humans is because his mom was put to death as a result of her interaction. But like, I would have liked to have seen because they had all the Arthur flashbacks. Just one, I think one Orm flashback would have been cool. Seeing like him like being taught, like his father being like, it's because she touched the surface people. We hate it. Like, you know, because obviously that was his backstory.
I fully agree with you.
What happened to his father?
He's probably dead.
Did they ever like reference
what happened and how he died? No,
old age, but he's obviously an asshole. He fucking just sent Nicole Kidman to her death for no reason whatsoever. But
I mean, I kind of agree with that. I actually think that would have fleshed out the narrative better. It would have made it better storytelling.
Again, you cut 30 minutes out of it, you can add a few minutes here and there that'll explain those things.
I'm not gonna do like Wonder Woman. The one thing I enjoyed about that DC movie, outside of the bad fight, there's another bad CGI. I'll say this much: Aquaman, DC finally gets CGI right.
It was good.
It only took them like 4 attempts.
It's funny because the trailer, you said during the trailer, like, I don't like the CGI in this trailer, and then I was like, I bet the movie's gonna look really cool.
No, I mean the movie, like visually, the movie was good but not great. Like I think there was some really good CGI on there. They did a great job de-aging Jango Fett there.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Right. That was like watching the Marvel movies with the de-aging. Mm-hmm. So like they did a great job
too. Not that she really looks old, but like
she
did look like 19, like early 90s Nicole Kidman.
I mean, but she looks like I don't know, that woman's on.
They actually made her look older when they cut to her later. Spoiler alert. This is a spoiler review. Now that we're 20 minutes into it, but.
I mean, if you've watched the other reviews we've done, I don't know. If you were expecting to not learn about the movie, then good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, they did get. I think the de-aging works. I feel like that's just like a common thing now. It's hard to do that wrong in this day and age. But
I'm sure someone will screw up. I mean, I have faith in humans just screwing it up after watching Steppenwolf.
I'm sorry. I know we do tangents here. We just go off. Did you guys ever watch Wet Hot American Summer, the TV series on Netflix?
Yeah.
So they have the movie, and then the series picked up, and it was supposed to be like the beginning of camp, because the movie came out in like the late 90s or whatever. But they're all way older and fatter, and they're just like pretending like they were like the younger versions of themselves, even though like the main character, who was like this beanpole kid in the movie, is like literally like 600 pounds.
Fat old man. Yeah, that made it funnier.
It did.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see a movie take like the de-aging thing and be like, oh, but we'll de-age him, and and then it just like it's freaking like, I don't know, some old guy sitting there like, I look great, don't I?
Oh, on tangents of like the things that were good like 10 years ago, I'm really that Holmes and Watson movie just makes me go, wow, you're gonna ruin Step Brothers for me.
You think it's gonna ruin Step Brothers for you?
I mean, Anchorman 2 like makes me never want to watch Anchorman again.
But they're not connected. They're different movies.
I know, but it didn't look funny. The trailer looks bad for that, but that's totally another tangent that has nothing to do with Aquaman.
I don't know.
I don't want to spend any more time on it. I just I saw that trailer and I'm like, this looks sad.
What did you guys think of Patrick Wilson playing the guy? He's in all of James Wan's movies. That's why he was Orm in this movie. My biggest critique about him right at the bat, he's like 65 years old, and he's supposed to be playing the younger brother of Jason Momoa, who's like 32.
Yeah.
Wait, that guy's like 65?
Not 65, but he's literally in his 50s.
No, I like that was a great example of the de-aging process. I think they used that for every one of his scenes.
Yeah, except, again, I hate this, like, now it sounds like I hate this movie with all the critiques I'm giving, but, like, there's a scene, like, he's got his hair slicked back in, like, the little clip thing, and then the next time you see him, he's got, like, a crop top. But then, and then when he's in the throne room in the gold suit, he's got a crop top flowing in the wind. And then the next scene, it's slicked back again. I'm like, can you just keep the one haircut for this guy the whole movie?
Well, that's probably the DC reshoot. Like, they figured with Henry Cavill's mustache, people won't even notice that anymore.
You know, I want you guys' input on him. But did you know that the reason that they made him look, they made Orm look the way he did, like blonde hair and stuff like that, is they were trying to make the nod that, like, make him look like the old Aquaman that everyone's always seen.
I mean, yeah.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, and they're like, it's like supposed to be like a joke. Like we'll make the bad guy look like the Aquaman that everyone associates.
I didn't even connect the dots, but that's funny.
Yeah, that's why in that scene in the throne room, I was really jarring there. I'm like, he looks.
Who's complaining about Jason Momoa not looking like that though?
Well, no one. Okay. Nobody wants that Aquaman.
I'm sure there's some nerd in some corner of the internet that's like all butthurt about that, like they were about what the Zendaya girl getting cast as Mary Jane.
I hate that she was cast as Mary Jane because she's not Mary Jane. We had this discussion before.
Yeah, I know.
She's not Mary Jane Watson. She's just MJ. Like, my friends call me MJ, but her name's like Maria.
I don't know. I don't even know what her name was. It was forgettable. But I heard she was gonna be cast as like Ariel and like the Little Mermaid, and people get the same girl, Zendaya or whatnot.
I don't care if she's cast.
But I just always go back to friggin'
they already
Jay and Silent Bob, where Ben Affleck's like fictional characters, and I don't understand how people get butthurt about that stuff.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna cast someone that like, I would want them to look like
somewhat like a character.
I don't care.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, like you're gonna give Superman like
Samuel L. Jackson,
red hair, and like
yes, make that movie now.
Yeah, you're gonna cast Bill Burr to play Superman.
I mean, I think a particular
funny.
a character has like a look. I feel like it should kind of stay with that look
within the realm.
Like so, Ariel. The main thing about Ariel, she's got fucking red hair.
So as long as they make her hair red.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
but again, I think she's black, but she's pale enough that like even if she's cast as Ariel, no one's gonna be like, you cast this black chick to play Ariel.
Oh yeah, they will.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous.
There are people who do stuff like that.
But again, if they went the other route where they cast like Jimon Hunson to play like her,
what the hell's that?
The guy that's in everything. He's the Blood Diamond. He's in.
You just want to do Arthur Goo?
Arthur Goo. I'm just saying, like you can't like there's degrees to do it. Like in my opinion.
I mean, I don't.
They already had the perfect Ariel. Her name's Mera, and she was in Aquaman.
Yeah.
Except that girl probably can't sing.
No, probably.
She couldn't act. So I mean.
Dude, I loved her. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah, but you weren't watching her acting.
I was watching her on screen delivering lines.
She knows how to wear a green jumpsuit.
Yeah, well,
with dripping wet red hair and exposed cleavage.
A lot of the things I've read is that people didn't like they didn't think they had a good connection, Arthur and Mera in the movie. I thought they were pretty good. I didn't think it was that terrible.
I mean, it was fine.
I mean, I didn't believe that they have like this romantic love story that like just like takes hold, but like I didn't. When they kissed at the end, in the battle was a little long for a kiss.
It was ridiculous.
It was a little long for a kiss. But I didn't care that they had a kiss in the movie because like,
you mean during the crab people fight scene when they made out for like 5 minutes? Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
The crab people were a bit much.
Yeah,
I mean I'll buy the mer people a little bit, but crab people,
yeah,
like come on, like you're Atlantean. Like I think the second my Atlantean gene started like turning me into a crab person, I'd be like, we need to get this fixed.
Yeah.
Like, I have a crab hook here. We need to get the hell out of it. Can we go back to the surface?
The Brine Kingdom. I'm like, they're not even trying anymore.
You know what's funny is because they showed the crab people for a second in the beginning when they were talking about the kingdoms and the de-evolution of them, and then I was like, who the fuck's the Brine King?
Yeah.
And then like I was expecting regular Atlanteans, and I saw these crab people.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about the crab people.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just expecting crab people.
Well,
crab.
What they were.
No, I wanted the song during the fight scene.
I love that the crab people had giant crabs too. It's like, come on, man. There's other sea creatures you probably could bring in. But
I know. No lobsters though. What the hell's that?
No.
Are they like crab racist?
Yeah, they are crab racist.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, get those grind motherfuckers out of here. No, but
I mean, this is all happening off the coast of Maine. I mean, I would assume there'd be lobsters up in there.
That's the thing. So I'm nitpicking a lot of stuff here, but I like the crab people just regular. I mean, it just seems like a waste of money to even have them be crab people. And then I don't know enough Aquaman comics to know whether or not crab. This is like a real thing.
They could have saved money. I mean, you're right.
Really, they could.
Like, at the end of the day, they could have just saved money and like had people like walk around just like with red skin and call them crab
people. You
people.
showed the fish people for like the Fisher Kingdom or whatever. You showed them for like half a second. So like, yeah, that's cool to show that those are there. And then like you have your trench people, but like the crab people really weren't needed. No. I mean, you could have had just regular people who like have like their crab is like their symbol and like so they have like crab looking armor, you know. But again, that's nitpicking because the crab people were really irrelevant to the story.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think of the overall action of the movie?
I mean, it was sufficient. I don't think it was like I didn't watch that. I didn't like. I've watched other movies where I come out of it and been like, I can't believe that scene. That scene was so awesome. I didn't have any of those feelings about many of those scenes. Actually, if I had those feelings, it was the 2 fight scenes I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like the chase and like the submarine starship stuff. Like
I thought
Star Wars does it better.
I thought the
like,
Ring of Fire fight scene was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, the Ring of Fire fight scene wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as the Mira and Nicole Kidman fights.
Yeah, well, yeah, those are much closer fights, and they're not the grand spectacle kind of fights. But
I like the fact that he just, wasn't just kicking people's ass the entire movie like you. Like
he even says it. He even says it. The line he drops is, "I've been getting my ass kicked for like 3 days here."
It's funny though. It's like the way he ends up, like the strongest power ends up being talking to the fucking monster at the end.
I know.
So that's like.
That's what saves the day. Yeah. That's what saves the day.
Like, it's not like using his fist; it's using his fucking voice talking to the monster, like the monster. So it's just like
I just want to know how like the little the trident swirl move is like his super secret power move, the one that his tutor probably teaches every Atlantean. Well, it's like, oh, no one else can do this except like that guy and that guy.
Well,
and that guy
Volko, that guy Volko probably. Oh, you're right. Maybe it's his thing though. Maybe it's like
maybe.
Oh no,
because he
can only do it out of the water though. Like he said that he spent his whole life under the water. So if he's never been out of the water.
There you go. I didn't think about that.
That is good. Hey, look at this guy. We brought this guy.
This guy.
By the way, why did they have to make him look like an elf from Lord of the Rings?
Who with the
vocal there? Friggin' I can't.
So
the Green Goblin there, Willem Dafoe.
I don't think Willem Dafoe ever looks normal on screen. He's always like there's scenes where like when he was doing the move, he's doing the move. He looked like he was like, his dick. Like he always looks a little.
His best movie's Boondock Saints because he's supposed to be that creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's written for him, I think.
Yeah. Isn't he like? Isn't he gay in that movie? He's like, get off me, faggot.
Yeah. That's his line. The line he drops at the end of the movie because the dude.
Doesn't he like have like
not
a
that
dude?
The dude asks him to cuddle. The dude asks him to cuddle. He's like cuddle. Fag. Which is great.
I know.
But there's not that movie. I only saw that movie like 3 times in my life. Like I feel like that's a movie everyone in Boston like totes. Like, oh, you gotta watch Boondock Saints.
It's over celebrated.
Oh, totally over celebrated.
Over celebrated. Good movie, but over celebrated. Yeah. Better than Aquaman.
I don't think it was better than Aquaman.
I'm just messing with you.
You don't think it is either.
I don't really. No. I mean, Aquaman is the second best DC movie. Wonder Woman's the best. And so like that's the DC pantheon right now, and I'm not going to include the Christopher Nolan movies or the Christopher Reeve.
No, you shouldn't. It's not part
movies.
I'm
talking about the connected universe.
I actually liked Aquaman better than Wonder Woman, and it might be because I just saw it. But I literally that whole movie, and I think you were the same way. Like I didn't have a smile on my face watching the action unfold, watching the story progress. It was just fun. I had fun the whole time, and it didn't have the third act thing that Wonder Woman did, where it's just like a lame villain because you have the progression of the villain. The
narrative in Wonder Woman was a better narrative until the third act, and so like I get that. I mean, I will say this: out of the DC movies, this is the best third act, hands
absolutely.
down. Matter of fact, the third act is when this movie got at the strongest.
A lot of people
outside of the crab people thing, which. If there was no crab people, the third act women had no flaws. But because there were crab people, major flaw.
Would you have cared of the crab people if they didn't have dialogue and they were just like fodder for the fight scene?
I mean, I could have. Yeah, they've been better with no dialogue.
I feel like the same way.
Yeah,
like, I feel like when that dude was talking, I was like, God, get out of here, crab guy. Just be killed by Orm or whatever.
I know. I was half expecting the queer eye guys to show up like they do in South Park. So
So what do you think overall? Let's score this movie here because I think we talked about a lot of the cool stuff. I don't want to spoil everything for the movie for people, but as far as like I said, I think this is my favorite DC movie that I've seen. And I know you hate Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel. I think Wonder Woman was my favorite till this point, and maybe if I see this again, I will decide if it's better than Wonder Woman or not. It could be just because we just saw it. But for me, the action and the fight scenes and the humor. I think this is the best DC movie. I think this.
Where was their humor? I mean,
the whole movie.
I feel like there's unintentional humor. I feel like there was a lot of misses.
Well, like the part at the bar, he's like, "Hey, you that fish boy?" Like, fish man.
That was good. No, there were some good jokes. Honestly, this is what I think Jason Momoa brought to the movie is. I noticed his dialogue looked like it was like ad hoc, and those ones were funny. But when like the script was trying to be funny. it was not funny. It was there's too many often where the movie was trying too hard and people weren't even laughing.
I was laughing. I like the fish out of water stuff with Mara, like where she's like eating the flour, like she doesn't ever.
That was a funny scene.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that.
That one was fine. I mean, listen, some of it hit, some of it missed. It wasn't total. It wasn't like a total like, wow, this is the worst joke writing I've ever seen.
I laughed out loud when she did the one when he's like, oh, what did he say to her? It was something when they're in the desert and he's like, you sure you know where you're going? He's just like, you sure you don't want to punch in the face? It was just like on the nose, but like she came at it with such commitment. I'm like, that's hilarious. I bet she would have really said that.
Do you think she wrote that before or after Johnny Depp?
I don't know.
Hey, yep. Now I've gone there.
If she's hitting up Jason Momoa, might be like, yo, kick the shit out of this guy for me.
Yeah.
I feel like he would too. So.
Oh, it's a book. Well, I'll be damned.
I mean,
they kind of have the same haircut and eye makeup, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was one other thing we could touch on, and I want to know what you guys got out of it before you get your ratings here. What 80s cartoon did you guys think of when he was bringing the trident down and had the glowing eyes in the background of it?
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
You know, it's funny. I didn't connect the dot there, but yeah, you're right. See, like, not one thing was original in this movie.
Well, that's like, dude, okay, but not.
I mean, I get that, like, everything's been done to this point, but this movie just blatantly stole from so many things from the 80s and 90s.
That's like, okay, but you're toting that Thor Ragnarok was this great movie that stole from everything from the 80s. That's Flash Gordon.
No, it's in what, Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
But it's a coherent story, and it's a better movie.
Oh, come on.
If you're going to tell me this is better than Thor Ragnarok, then that's
I don't know if it was better. I don't think it was better.
That's a whole.
I don't think
that's a whole.
I didn't say that.
No, okay.
I didn't think it was better than Thor Ragnarok.
It's not even close. Can't even smell its jockstrap.
I think it can smell its jockstrap.
You want to go on record with that?
Yes, I think it can smell Thor Ragnarok's jockstrap.
All right, there's my final score for this movie.
What do you think of it?
I liked it. I like Thor Ragnarok too. I like both those movies. I mean,
where would it fall for you for the DC movies?
I don't know. I guess. Actually, probably liked it better than Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it'd be my favorite one. I guess.
So 2 yays and 1 eh.
Well, I got a better question. This or Venom?
This.
Yeah.
I'd rewatch Venom every day.
Are you serious?
Because the unintentional comedy of Venom, I was happier leaving Venom than I was leaving this movie.
I am shocked that you just said that.
I mean, Venom has a lot of problems. We spent 90 minutes going all over the place on that movie. This movie, I was bored. It was too much. I wasn't as entertained as you were by it. It was overly long. There's a lot of stuff being left on the floor. I was more, and a lot of the times, like, how over the top it was took me out of the movie and the narrative.
I don't know. For me, and I said this in the beginning of the review, I think, but the James Wan, or anybody who was getting this, the chances of you getting a second Aquaman movie were so slim. So I feel like they were like, let's just throw it all in there. Let's just make them. Let's throw it let's have the Black Manta thing drawn out. Let's include this stuff, because if we don't get another one, I don't want to say that I didn't put it in there for the sake of me wanting to see it.
It's interesting you put it that way, because this was, to me, I felt like this was the make it or break it movie for this iteration of the DC extended universe.
Yeah.
Because like, if this movie does well, you can just push all the other things that have happened down deep and like use it as maybe some basic storytelling and move on. And if this does poorly, you just scrap the whole universe with the exception of Gal Gadot, and you keep her as Wonder Woman, and you just move forward with that for right now. But
could you make a whole movie based on Black Manta being the bad guy, the entire movie?
I don't think he could be your main antagonist, but I could, we didn't see the post-credit scene, but I'm assuming it's something with him still being alive, obviously, and whatever. So I could see him teaming up with another villain to go after the Atlanteans, or to go after some maybe it doesn't have to be an Atlantean villain. He could team up with any land villain that sees Atlantis as a threat, and being like a, I don't know what you could really do, because I feel like at this point the kingdoms are united, so it's like a pretty big task.
I don't feel like with the way they told this movie you could. Like this Black Manta, I don't think you could. I think what I know about the character,
he seemed like
you could.
He's like a merc. Like he's like.
Well, he's always. I mean, again, I've only read the Aquaman Rebirth storyline, or the New 52 or whatever, and this is literally his origin. Black Manta's. His Aquaman kills his dad inadvertently in the comics, actually, I think, and then he just wants to kill Aquaman for it. That's his whole purpose.
And I think that's interesting, and I think they could have maybe, like, if you just left that there and that was the only thing you had from him, and you used him from another movie where you talk about his like revenge quest, or he just gets introduced to the Atlantean tech as a result of this. You could have maybe made a full movie out of Black Manta being the villain. The way they told this movie, I mean, no, you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very much he's the henchman.
Post-credit dude, the post-credit scene in this movie, if you wanted that to happen, easy. You have the opening sequence with Black Manta. People remember him from the beginning because he had a pretty good amount of dialogue. He was the opening villain, basically. Mm-hmm. He's in jail somewhere, right? Orm, you just have that fight scene at the end end a little differently. You have Orm escape. He busts in. I don't know how he would know about Black Manta, but even something along the lines of him busting in, giving him the tech and being like, we need to do something about Aquaman. And that could have been the sequel, But
you could even have him
that could still actually happen.
You could even have him on a naval carrier being transported to another place, right? And one of the stray blasts from the crab people fight scene
freeze him.
Yeah. And or a ship crashes but it's still functional and he takes the Atlantean tech. And then you have that, and him just being like, now I got Atlantean steel. I mean, I thought when he shows up, fully powdered up, as much as I hated how he got there, it was a good fight scene.
Oh, yeah, it was really cool, really well shot.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. And I think I don't know. It's hard to tell where they're going with this franchise because. Right. It really ends on a finale note though. It doesn't really end with we're gonna make Aquaman 2. They're basically this dude is king of the seas. Everything's good now. Yeah. I mean, so there's nothing to fight for.
I feel like they toned down his bro too. In how in all of Justice League.
I don't know.
No, he really did he did the badass line but it was only that one time really that he went like that. Everything else was kind of subtle humor except for the bar scene obviously where he's drinking with those guys. But that was hilarious. So. But, I really enjoyed it. So I think that's probably good for the review. I don't know what you guys are doing this week. I know that we have the week off, obviously, from work. You have the week off. I'm planning on going to see Bumblebee on Thursday during the day. If you guys want to go and check that out.
So I was... it's interesting we're going to talk about this now. It's a good way to bully me into it. It's live. That's right. No, I gotta... Obviously, I don't really have my own... permission to do anything.
That's how it works.
I gotta talk to my wife. I was gonna take John to see the Into the Spider-Verse movie because I keep hearing amazing things about that.
Okay.
So I don't know, but maybe both things can work. And Tina also wants to go see the Mary Poppins Returns movie because that also got good reviews.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not? Freaking Emily Blunt, she's perfect casting, but
everyone loves Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, I hate Lin-Manuel.
Everyone loves him, Kevin.
I hate him, dude. He was in Curb Your Enthusiasm last season, and maybe it's the way. And again, he might be great in real life. Do you know who that guy is? The guy who wrote Hamilton, the play, and all this. He's a big playwright.
Wait, is it the dude that gets fucking blown up in Tropic Thunder?
No.
Who is blown up?
I don't know, actually.
Is he the director?
No, not that guy.
No.
Oh.
He's
Why, did you think that guy wrote Hamilton all the time? You picture him doing it?
I don't know.
The British guy?
Yeah.
No. He writes the movie. He wrote the play Hamilton, which is the biggest Broadway play ever. And then, what is it? Moana. He did that.
He wrote Moana?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before.
Shit.
Yeah.
I like Moana. Now I'm Lin-Manuel a little bit.
Yeah. I think he wrote all the songs for it.
You know why I hate him? Honestly, this is again these tangents we go on. He does an episode of Sesame Street where he tries to get Big Bird to, and this is so pathetic. This is my kid, obviously.
I'm really interested.
Where he gets he's trying to get Big Bird to change habitats and move somewhere else. But every time he shows him a new time, she's like Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
slightly racist. But then
he's Puerto Rican.
Then he shows
Hamilton was from Puerto Rico. It's why he wrote that play. That's not being racist. It's knowing the dude's background.
Yeah, but to assume that they only want to
Big Bird's Puerto Rican. I was I was not aware.
Dude, Sesame Street's gone real straight lately. So, no.
Well, I mean, it's called Sesame Street, and who lives on? I was gonna say who lives on the street. That would have been racist.
Anyways,
the big of a Sesame.
No,
he keeps trying to get Big Bird to change habitats, and the whole time that he's doing it, he keeps singing the same fucking rap song. He's like, "It's a habitat, it's a habitat." And I know it's just Sesame Street, but seeing him do that and seeing his character in Curb Your Enthusiasm last season, and him just butting heads with Larry, everybody butts heads with Larry.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I hate Lin-Manuel. Now that's just how I feel about him.
Fair enough.
Aquaman. Thanks for tuning into this video. We'll catch you guys next week.